Welcome to my LGBT lesbian channel. The series Checkmate, Stripper and Dance for Me are voiced for you in full history. Thank you for your comments, reactions and subscription to my channel. Have a nice day everyone. You are too clever. I know. I winked at her, which made her smile. I thought that we could go for a walk on the Santa Monica's pier. What do you think, Tay? It's a great idea. Really? I always wanted to go there. Lauren smiled. Well then, let's go. Like now. I'm going to stay, okay? Taylor spoke quickly. But why? I need to meet a friend now, but go with Camila. But Tay. Shush, enjoy, sis. Lauren and I didn't understand the reason why she didn't want to go. But it didn't take even an hour and we were already parked next to Santa Monica's pier. The place was simply gorgeous. We walked across the whole extension of the pier where there were several kids playing around, some adults taking pictures of their families, and friends near the huge Ferris wheel of the place. This place is wonderful. You like it? Of course, you don't. I love it, Camila. When I was younger my parents always brought us here. Chris and Taylor played a lot in these games they make here. You are a beautiful family. You think? She asked with a confused look, while putting her hands in her pockets. I'm sure, Lauren. We stood in silence for a few minutes, only walking towards the beach. Lauren was the first to get to the sand, kindly helping me take my flat sandals off my feet. Nothing better than bare feet in the sand, she said, taking her black combat boots off. You are absolutely right. Lauren stood up quickly, extending a hand to me. Let's go, one walk only, I promise to not go far away. Deal. We were far away enough from the pier to have a wonderful view of it. The sun was setting at that time, the view was simply breathtaking. The sky had an orange coloration, with spaced clouds, leaving only the vague drawings in that immensity. This sunset is definitely going in my ranking as one of the best. Lauren spoke sitting on the sand, dropping her shoes aside. You have a ranking? One asked, joining her. I have, and this is in second place. In first place is the one that I saw with my dad and my grandma. It was amazing, and it was here, you know? Really? Really? Yes, in this same place that we are now. How do you know that it's exactly here? I asked in challenge, making Lauren smile. I simply know, Cams. I feel it, it's an important place. I always came here with them until my grandma died, of course. I had never brought anyone here before. I took a deep breath, feeling my heart weaken. Why did she have to be so wonderful? Why did you bring me? I asked without thinking. I don't know, something told me that I had to bring you here, Miss Cabello. Something? She nodded. I don't know what to say. Can I be happy with that? I asked. Lauren smiled while staring at me. Her hair was a bit disheveled due to the sea breeze. Her eyes were in a lighter tone, calm and cozy. If you think it's good, yes. You can. It's good, yes. Great then, but tell me a little about you. By now you know a lot about me, and I don't know so much about you. Why were you sad yesterday? She asked while drawing something in the sand. I took a deep breath, remembering yesterday. I looked away from her eyes, just appreciating the twilight that happened there. The sun had already set, leaving room only for the brightness of the stars that night. It's complicated. I can understand, she said softly. I don't have a family like yours, Lauren. I don't have parents who love me, who take care of me, who worry about me. She stood quiet, only staring at me. I don't talk to my mother for years, and let alone with the man who claims to be my father. And why? She hates me, and I don't even want to see him. What happened between you two? You probably don't want to know. I'm not going to fill your head with my problems. I spoke, lowering my head. Lauren got even closer to me, staying right beside me. I want to get to know you, Camila. I looked into her green eyes, and they seemed so sincere, they transmitted me so much trust. My father left us very early, left us in an endless misery. We spent days without having anything to eat because of him and his gambling addiction. He sold everything we had for gambling. He would come home drunk at dawn, breaking everything with fury for having lost it all. And sometimes he would even beat my mother, you know? I closed my eyes when I remembered those moments, trying to control the urge to cry. I saw so many things that I would do anything to forget. But then one day he left for good, and we really were with nothing. I couldn't handle any more seeing my mother and my sister in that situation, so I looked for a job and got some money, but my mother didn't like the job, and she said several things to me. Things that I will never be able to forget one day, but I still continued. I left home and promised my sister Sophie that I would return for her. It was when I started working at Jauregui's industry, and I met Dinah and Allie, and with the money that I started earning we rented an apartment, and the rest I sent for my mother and sister every month. And everything was working, you know? Lauren nodded. Her forehead was furrowed, maybe trying to understand everything. Or part of everything, I could never tell. Her what job had been, even feeling that at that moment she would forgive me for everything. And you went back to see them yesterday? I nodded, wiping the tears that insisted on falling. I received an eviction letter for my mother, so I went to check what had happened because every month I send them enough money for the house. And when I got there I saw my sister. Ah, Lauren, she was so beautiful and big. I said, remembering Sophie, feeling a pang in my heart for having her far away from me. We talked for a few hours until my mother arrived, and as expected she hurt me again. She mistreated me like I was nothing. What a bitch, Lauren said without even realizing I'm sorry, but I have no other word for it. Don't worry, it's fine, maybe you're right, he was there too, with her. Your father? The same, Alejandro Cabello. He already messed her head again, and I'm sure that's him that's been taking all the money. You can't leave things like that, Camila. Her tone was angry. I can't do anything, Lauren. The only solution would be to take Sophie from there. It's only with her that I worry, but I don't know how I can do this. Well, I do, don't worry. I have some friends who are lawyers, and most certainly, they will make it happen. No, I can't accept it. Lauren stared at me serious. You can't accept that your sister lives with them. That is what you can't accept, Camila. She deserves a home, a real home with love and care, and there's no one better than you to give her that. I had no more control. I could only cry, thinking about everything that I had lived, in all the humiliations and contempt. I couldn't let the same happen to Sophia. No, I couldn't. I raised my head, staring at Lauren, who stared at me with a worried countenance. Thank you, Lauren. She didn't say anything, only hugged me tightly. Maybe I had never felt like I feel right now. I wanted to understand how Lauren was able to leave me like this, mesmerized, with the nerves on alert at every instant, with that butterflies in stomach cliché. What was it about her that turned my world upside down, that made me do crazy things. Damn, I was lost. Lost in those green eyes that time or another stared at me, curious, that relaxed smile in the middle of our simpler conversations. Lost in the desire that she made me feel in her body and in her hands when they touched me, in her lips that kissed me with desire under the night's disguise. Oh, Camila. There were absolutely no more doubts. I was lost, but hopelessly lost in love with Lauren Jauregui. I had an idea, Lauren exclaimed, staring at me with a broad smile. What idea? Let's continue with our walk? It's getting late, and I still want to take you to meet the Central Park of Los Angeles. I don't want to see you sad, okay? I promise that I will help you with Sophie, and I'll want to meet her. She spoke, getting up and wiping the sand from her pants. Look how I look, my eyes are probably red. Let's go home. Stop being lazy, Camila. You'll love it, I guarantee you. I'm your guide this weekend, and the tour of LA is not over yet. Missy, you still look beautiful, I assure you. Is this gonna cost me a lot? I asked, playing along. Maybe a few years of slave work at Jauregui's industry. I let out a laugh with her. That is not good. Now it's too late, no one told you to accept spending the weekend with me. You know how annoying I am. You are not. But I'll be now, so let's go, please. It was really cute how excited she was to take me to this place. I wouldn't deny her request, especially because most of the time Lauren didn't ask. She ordered like a good businesswoman and president. Lauren extended her hand to me and helped me get up. After a few minutes in the car, we arrived at one of the biggest parks in LA. It was beautiful and somewhat busy this night. We walked through the huge extension of it, around the central lake that was illuminated by LED lights floating on the calm water, until we saw a group of people sitting in front of a huge screen that was there. We can buy something to eat if you want, and sit somewhere to see the movie. What do you think? Lauren sometimes seemed to read my thoughts. Really? Of course, I confess that I always like to come to outdoor theaters, but I never came accompanied. Well, here I am, I said, smiling. Perfect. Sit in that place, there's some blankets that they deliver here. I'll get something for us to eat and I'll join you. Lauren spoke and quickly walked away. I looked around, noticing how much of a couple program that was. I sat on the blanket that was on the soft grass. The movie had already started. Around there were families, sitting all together watching the movie that would probably be a romance. Some couples were hugged amid fondles, causing a tiny hint of envy for wanting to be like this with her. I'm back, Camila. I heard Lauren's voice, and she carefully sat beside me. In her hands a medium bucket of popcorn that smelled divinely well, and a bag with some candies and soda. How old were we? I feel like a kid eating so much crap like this, I said, smiling at her. Me too, but it's only fair, it's been a while since I didn't eat these things. Seriously? Well, I always eat it, I'll get fat one of these days. I whispered. Lauren arched a brow. Camila, with all due respect, you are anything but fat. I let out a laugh at her, who smiled. We were in the back, most people were closer to the screen. Around us there were only two couples amid caresses. I quickly glanced at Lauren, who was focused on the movie. How could she be so beautiful? Damn it, it wasn't enough for her to drive me crazy with all the fire she had when she met with Carla. She still had to be kind and sweet with Camila. Our closeness was being so surreal. Lauren wasn't an open person with others. She didn't let anyone inhabit in her personal world. But With me she was different, I just didn't know why. I shook my head trying to stop those thoughts and focus on the movie that seemed to be really good. Is everything okay? No, everything was not okay. I liked her too much to stay like this. Play song. Yes, I was just thinking. Can I know about what? She whispered to not disturb the people around us. About how this year is being good. Lauren stood quiet, only with her eyes on mine, to then open a smile. I'm going to tell you a secret. Lauren got closer, sitting right next to me, and leaned in to speak in my ear. I am also loving this year. She whispered softly in my ear, making all the hairs on my body stand on end. I lowered my head and smiled. Do you mind if I lay my head on your lap? I don't want to seem abused, but since I am. There's no problem, you can lie down. Lauren quickly put aside some things, and accommodated herself on the floor, putting her head on my legs. Vero is going to kill me, I'm lying on the lap of her conquest. Or Austin, right? I don't have anything with either of them. Great then, I don't want to get into arguments with anyone because of jealousy from one of your suitors, Miss Cabello. Hal, it wouldn't only be with them, you know? There's your fiancée, Alexa. She would be one of the first to argue. Oh God, don't even say the name of that woman, ruining our night, it's a no-no. You are so different from her. I know, you must wonder what I saw in her, right? No, I don't wonder that. Alexa is pretty woman, fancy, and I bet she comes from a prestigious family. You have absolutely right, but that to me doesn't mean anything. There are many, many things that I like in a woman. Like? Lauren seemed to be thinking about her answer. Like the way of being, I like to see that the girl cares about me, that she tries to understand me the best possible way. That she's beautiful and delicate, or sexy and hot. That she smiles often, that talks to me about simple things, that makes me feel different, you know? As if I was a different Lauren, who takes risks for desire or for love. My heart pounded at every word that left her mouth. I knew that there in the middle she had mentioned Carla, that she had thought about her for a few instants, but in whom else had she seen the other traits? I understand perfectly well. I like you, Camila. She dropped in the air, leaving me mute without reaction, making it seem that that hadn't been for me. But on the inside, my heart was beating frantically and I could swear that at any moment it would come out of my chest. Perhaps in years, you are the only woman that I met who makes me feel so at ease, you know? And in just a little time. I know we have a working relationship, but I don't regret at all having brought you to spend this weekend with me, or to have let you meet a little bit of my life, that I guarantee only a few people know. I don't even know what to say, Lauren. Only that I am loving being here with you, and that surely you took me from a depressing weekend. I smiled shyly in that I feel good with you, I like your friendship. Friendship, it wasn't quite the word that I wanted to use, but it was the only that should be said there. We stared at each other for a few seconds, without looking away. Her breathing was paced, calm, giving me a certain relief. Did you feel this? She whispered. What? This. Lauren put her hand on my face. I smiled without understanding, until I felt one drop of water fall on my shoulder. I waited for a few minutes and more drops started falling. Wait, are you talking about? I didn't even finish the sentence when the rain suddenly started, and I was referring to a beautiful and heavy rain. Oh God, Lauren. Oh. If you like that I voiced the continuation of the series Stripper and want me to continue, please like and write a comment on the video. This will be an incentive to continue working on translation and dubbing.